Yes, guys, Ryjack back for another video today. We are looking at City versus Forest, the 2-1 win for the Blues. A very exciting game. I do appreciate everybody who hung out in the live watch along. Those are always fun. If you missed it, come back to the channel. Next game against Sunderland, I'll do another one for the Sunderland game, of course. Now, before we do get into it, if you are new, please hit subscribe. I really appreciate it. We are going up and up and up on the goal to 1,000 subs on the channel here. And I always appreciate the support. Like the video as well. Comment, let me know your thoughts. Anyway, let's take a look at the game here. Like I said, it was a 2-1 win for City. Another game of two halves, I would say. First half was pretty dead. It was a lot of City, more so with the ball, but not a lot of chances. Forrest had a semi-chance with Gibbs White in the first half that he maybe should have gotten on the end of, but the ball, I guess, was just too far, or maybe he mishit it exactly, but potential opportunity for them to score. Nothing comes of it. If you look at the momentum charts, which are not always everything, it was really all City. Not a whole lot going on for Forest really in the first half, but in regards to City, it was pretty slow. I don't think we were really on it. It felt like, maybe the Christmas break was dragging us down a bit. I didn't feel great about what I was seeing in the first half. Second half, though, very quickly, right away, we get a goal, a moment of magic from Cherky. Very nice through ball. It was a intricate, delicate, just threaded behind the lines that allows Tijani to take it on the first time. And again, another goal for Tijani Reinders, an excellent finish for him. Topping off a sort of a good month for him. I would say he was poor in, the middle of the first half of the season, and lately he's really picked it up and gotten some goals as well as some good performances. However, the lead does not last. Very quickly after that, I think we scored 48 and they score in the 54th. So 6 minutes later, they come on a break. City do not defend it very well whatsoever. Nico G is in a way caught out. He does recover, and then Tijani recovers, but they kind of double up on the same man, leaving Omari Hutchinson on the back post, unmarked, completely wide open, and Donnarumma really has no opportunity to save it. You'd expect any Premier League player to score from there, from 5 to 10 yards out, completely wide open. Again, the game kind of goes back in City's hand, and we move forward, we progress, we have shots, but nothing crazy really until, like I said during the watch along, it was gonna take a moment of magic, and it is Ryan Cherky once again outside the box, absolute banger of a goal, low driven into the corner. And City see out the game 2-1 for a much-needed victory. If we look at the stats of the game, I mean, XG is pretty much showing that City should have won the game, which, I don't particularly think we were amazing. I don't think Forest were posing much of a threat either, aside from when they went down until they went back level, that 10 minutes or so. Other than that, I felt like they were really defensive and just wanted to be resolute and not give us opportunities rather than go and try and get a goal themselves. They had 7 shots in the game, only 2 on target. I don't even remember Donnarumma making a save, really, to be honest with you. The one big chance, I'm guessing, is the Morgan Gibbs White one that, came to nothing. But if you look at all the stats, it's all favoring City, of course. Normally they do as well when we play a team like Forest. We double their passes, essentially. Duels, they actually did out-duel us on the ground, which is a little bit alarming. You don't like to see that. If you look at the lineup exactly and look at the players they particularly have, they have a good center back pairing. I thought they were all right. However, I must say, Elliot Anderson really stood out as an impressive player. I don't know that it was an audition exactly for him to say, City, look at what I can do, come and let's make this deal happen this summer. I don't know that players really play like that, but that question was asked in the chat quite a bit about, is this the game that makes Elliot Anderson makes City want to buy him. And I don't know, maybe, I mean, the way it probably works is Hugo Viana has already identified Elliot Anderson. He's seen hundreds and hundreds of clips of him and decided he is the guy if that's what he wants to do. We know the news is out there that we prefer Anderson over Wharton right now. And I will say, Anderson didn't do anything to hurt his chances of joining us. He was extremely impressive, easily Forest's best player, in my opinion. I mean, he won 10 duels. He was non-stop running all over the place, extremely, extremely like an engine in the midfield, which feels like something we desperately, desperately need. It says he played DM in the game, and you know what you get with Anderson is a versatile player. If you look here at what he normally plays for Forest, he plays a little bit deeper for them. However, I see him as an 8 personally for City. And you know, he can also at times, if needed, play out on the left. He reminds me of a young Bernardo Silva. He doesn't score a whole lot of goals, if you can tell. I mean, he's got 3 goals in his Forest career in 65 games. So, you know, he's really not much of a goal scorer particularly. And neither is Bernardo Silva. He got 6 assists last year, which is nice, but 2 G&A in 23 games this year for Forest. He's not going to be a player that gets you tons and tons of GA. But what he does have is that defensive work rate, the ball carrying ability, the ability to win ground duels. He can play out on the wing if necessary, much like Bernardo. So I like the idea of Elliot Anderson. His versatility makes him valuable, and I could see him easily fitting in a midfield of Nico G slash Rodri, and then it's Anderson slash Tajani, and then the attacking midfielder is Foden or Cherokee. Some combination of those 6 players fighting it out for those 3 midfield spots is what I really like to see, and I think it makes sense to go for him in the summer. Definitely not a January deal. I know people are always asking, can we get him in January? I would be absolutely floored if we got Anderson in January. It seems very, very unlikely. But summer, that's another deal. That's another deal. That's definitely possible. If you look at the City performances as well, Donnarumma didn't have much to do. Again, I don't think he could do anything about the goal particularly. So he gets just an average rating. I think O'Reilly was not particularly good on this game. And that's okay. I mean, he can't drop 8 every single day of the week when he plays. And he always, always plays. Would be nice to have Reinhard Nori back in the squad, able to give O'Reilly some breaks here and there. But, you know, maybe this was a bit of, I'm tired. I've been hammed out at left back, played so much that I was bound to drop. Not the best performance. He wasn't, bad on the day or anything, but I don't think he was at his absolute best. Gavardiol and Diaz, again, pretty solid, I would say. Gavardiol gets the big assist to Cherokee late in the game. Diaz maybe a little bit lucky to not get sent off with a second yellow. But other than that incident, I thought he was really good. A leader, as always. And Diaz has been one of our best players this season. I maintain his resurgence at center back has been a key cog in why we've improved this year versus last year. Nunes, again, fine, decent performance. Offered a little bit going forward, but all in all, I don't think anyone was particularly on it, I guess, except for Cherokee, who was, good as he typically is. Nico G, another solid performance. Rodri notably makes the bench. Doesn't say an appearance, but we could see Rodri in the next game against Sunderland coming up in a few days. And of course, that will be welcomed for Nico G to get rest and some time not actually having to ham out 90 minutes every single game. So that is good. You like the competition in the 6th position. Reinders, like I said, another good performance. Very happy to see him score again and stack good games on good games. Foden played a little bit deeper today. He didn't really have a whole lot creating today. It was much more of being a ball carrier, it felt like. And, he was okay in that role. But when you don't have Doku and you don't have an actual out-and-out left winger starting, and it's really O'Reilly, and Foden's not in his best position there, so I don't expect the same Phil Foden that you get, typically with him in the midfield, personally. Bernardo Silva, another decent, fine performance, nothing to complain about, nothing to say, wow, he's amazing, but, that's par for the course. Haaland, not really on it today. Not a lot happened. He didn't have many touches in his defense. I want to say he had 15 touches, something like that, in the entire game. 14 touches in 90 minutes. So not getting a lot of service, not getting any opportunities really to score, but it's possible that these guys coming off the Christmas break are just, it's the early kickoff as well. How much does that play into it? I'm not sure, but not great from Holland today. However, Cherokee, man of the match because of the two moments of magic. I know people say Josko was potentially man of the match, but Cherokee gets a goal and an assist. That's just how man of the match works. He's obviously the match winner for us, if nothing else. His goal was beautiful technique. His assist was a difficult one to make, and the guy's just, he offers something different than we've had in quite some time. The flair, you just don't see the flair typically in the Pep Guardiola side. He's also up to 7 goals, 7 assists in the Premier League this season, which is tied for first place in the league. And he's only played, 600 minutes in the Premier League, which is crazy. He's really only played about half of the season. He's been injured, but continuing to put in fantastic performances. Savinho comes on. I thought it was okay. He's always trying. That's one thing I have to give Savinho credit for. He is always trying to put in effort and put in a shift. Does he do a whole lot offensively at the moment? No, not really. But he always is giving it effort, which, sometimes that can be questioned from certain players. But Savinho, I will say lately, has been really trying, which, it sounds like less of a compliment than it maybe should be. But, I don't know how to rate Savinho, really. Ake comes on really, really late. Makes some defensive contributions, but, only played 5 minutes or so. If you look at the bench, it is somewhat alarming still. We have many players out injured and on international duty. We had to field, 3 academy players. Kusanov is 4th choice in terms of center back as Ake comes on instead of him. Rico Lewis doesn't come on. And Rodri doesn't come on. So the bench is a bit concerning. Starting 11 is very, very solid. And, once we have these injured players back and the international players back, I think we'll have a nice, decent squad, especially if we see that Semenyo deal over the line, which may or may not happen. It's a couple of days until January 1 when that rumored deal is wanted to be completed. So we'll see. A lot of options for City. Once we get those players back, of course, I think we'll be in a really good spot. If you look at the table, it does put us second place, 2 back from Arsenal, who do scrape a 2-1 win over Brighton. Big one next week coming up for them, December 30th, Arsenal versus Villa, 1st versus 3rd. A huge, huge game. Well, we have Sunderland, who have many, many players out on international duty. Hopefully, we can do a job and win that game. It is 8 in a row wins for City, 6 in the Premier League. Beautiful, beautiful to see. And it's weird. People always say, I don't think this is the City side that can go on that 10-game run. We're already on an 8-game run. An 8-game run of W's. It's been very, very impressive month and a half or so for City. We do have Sunderland, like I said. And then coming up, Chelsea. Another big, big game. January is a big month. Hopefully we close the gap on Arsenal as well as progress through the Champions League. We get to see potentially who we play in the knockout rounds. So that is it for the recap for the Forest game. I do appreciate you guys watching as always. And like I said, will do a live watch along for the Sunderland game on New Year's Day. So do come back to the channel, check it out. I'll be doing some content leading up to that game, of course, throughout the week. But anyway, like the video on the way out. Comment your thoughts. I always respond to every single comment. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you